March 2019. The Burj Al Arab terrace glittered under 1,000 crystal chandeliers. 400 guests in designer abayas and tailored kanduras watched as a 23-year-old bride in Ely Saab walked toward her 55-year-old groom. The cameras captured her radiant smile. The hashtag Dubai Royal Wedding trended for hours. Gold-dusted desserts, helicopter flyovers, a celebration worth millions. 24 hours later, she was dead. He claimed she abandoned him. Police found her body rolled in a Persian carpet, heading for a desert grave. The wedding photos still glow on Instagram, frozen moments before rage, jealousy, and a secret lover's message turned a fairy tale into a nightmare. But what could drive a wealthy businessman to destroy his bride just hours after saying "I do"? You are about to find out. Welcome to True Crime Journal HQ. Thanks to all our viewers and subscribers for your support. Stay with us for daily update on the most shocking true crime stories. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Before we start, if you want to learn how to protect yourself from potential danger, then download your free ebook titled Safety for Women Over 40, Everyday Habits to Outsmart Criminals, by clicking the link in the pinned comment. Salma Baghdadi was born on a warm September evening in 1996 in Amman, Jordan. Her father, Faisal, worked as a civil engineer for the municipal government. Her mother, Rania, taught Arabic literature at a local secondary school. They lived in a 3-bedroom apartment in the Abdun neighborhood, modest but comfortable. Salma was their first child, followed 3 years later by her brother Tariq. Friends remember her as a curious girl who asked endless questions and loved reading stories about distant places. She dreamed of living somewhere bigger, somewhere that sparkled with possibility. When Salma turned 12, her father received a job offer from a construction firm in Dubai. The salary was triple what he earned in Amman. For the Baghdadi family, it meant opportunity, better schools, a brighter future. In 2008, they packed their lives into suitcases and boarded an Emirates flight to a city that promised everything. Dubai hit Salma like a rush of color and sound. The family settled in a villa in Jumeirah, and she enrolled at GEMS Wellington International School. The transition wasn't easy. New accent, different social dynamics, kids who'd grown up with weekend trips to the Palm and ski trips to Europe. But Salma adapted. She joined the debate team, learned to navigate conversations in English and Arabic seamlessly, and made friends from dozens of countries. Teachers described her as ambitious and articulate. She dressed modestly but stylishly, mixing her Jordanian roots with Dubai's cosmopolitan energy. Her brother Tariq looked up to her. She helped him with homework, defended him from bullies, and taught him to be proud of where they came from while embracing where they lived. On weekends, the family visited the Gold Souk and ate shawarma in Deira, keeping their heritage alive, even as they built a new life. By 16, Salma had a clear vision. She wanted to work in marketing, to create campaigns that made people feel something. She wanted to build her own identity in a city that rewarded ambition. Her parents beamed with pride, certain they'd made the right choice bringing her here. In 2014, Salma enrolled at American University of Dubai to study marketing and communications. The campus in Dubai Knowledge Park buzzed with students from across the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. It was there, in a second-year media studies class, that she met Omar Khalis. Omar was Lebanese, studying architecture, with an easy smile and big ideas about redesigning public spaces. They connected immediately, long conversations over coffee at the campus cafe, study sessions that turned into debates about art and culture, weekend drives to Hatta where they talked about dreams and futures. For 2 years, they were inseparable. Her parents knew about Omar, but assumed it was a phase, something that would fade when real life began. But as graduation approached in 2017, the pressure mounted. Rania sat Salma down for increasingly frequent talks. Omar is a nice boy, but what does he have? His family has nothing. You need stability, security. You need someone established. Salma tried to resist, but the weight of expectation crushed her resolve. After graduation, she and Omar went their separate ways. She told herself it was practical. He moved to Abu Dhabi for an architecture position. She landed a role at a luxury real estate marketing firm in Business Bay. promoting high-rise apartments to wealthy expats and investors. Her Instagram account, Salma in Dubai, gained followers quickly. Photos at Souk Madinat, brunches at 5 Palm Jumeirah, sunset shots at Kite Beach. The algorithm loved her. On screen, she looked happy, fulfilled, living her best life. Have you ever had to choose between love and family expectations? Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. If you made it to this point, drop a comment with "I'm still here." Let's see who is still watching. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, and share it with your loved ones to protect them from the same tragedy happening to them in the future. Khalid Al-Fahad came from money, old Dubai money, the kind built before the skyscrapers changed the skyline. His grandfather started importing fine textiles from India and Turkey in the 1960s, selling to wealthy families and government officials. His father expanded the business, securing exclusive contracts with luxury hotels as Dubai transformed into a global destination. By the time Khalid inherited Al-Fahad Textile Trading LLC in 2015, after his father's sudden heart attack, the company supplied custom fabrics to Atlantis, the Palm, Burj Al Arab, and Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi, Italian silks for curtains, Egyptian cotton for linens, Persian rugs for presidential suites. The contracts were worth millions annually. Khalid ran the business from a villa-turned-office in Al-Wasl, maintaining relationships his father had built over decades. In business circles, people called him shrewd. He negotiated hard, paid on time, and expected perfection. But they also called him traditional, stuck in old ways. He attended Friday prayers at Jumeirah Mosque without fail. He believed in hierarchy, in respect, in the way things had always been done. At 55, he controlled an empire, but felt something missing. His first marriage had crumbled. His children barely called. He wanted to rebuild his legacy, starting with a new wife who would restore honor to the Al-Fahad name. Khalid's first marriage lasted 20 years before ending in a quiet divorce in 2016. His ex-wife, Maha, had grown tired of his controlling nature. The constant questions about where she went, who she spoke to, how she spent money. Friends from that era remembered tensions at social gatherings, Maha's forced smiles when Khalid corrected her in public. They had 2 children, a son studying finance in London and a daughter pursuing medicine in Boston. Both kept their distance from their father after the divorce. They'd seen too much growing up, the arguments, the surveillance, the way he treated their mother like property rather than a partner. After the divorce, Khalid became obsessed with reputation. He attended every Majlis gathering in Jumeirah and Al-Safa, sitting with other businessmen, discussing deals over Arabic coffee and dates. He needed people to see him as successful, stable, worthy of respect. The divorce felt like a stain he couldn't wash away. His friends noticed the change. He talked constantly about finding a younger wife, someone who understood duty and tradition. "Modern women have too many opinions," he'd say over shisha at his favorite cafe in Al-Quoz. "I need someone who appreciates what I can provide." What he really wanted was control. Khalid met Salma through a mutual family friend in late 2018. He saw her photo first, beautiful, young, from a good Jordanian family. They met 4 times over 2 months, always with family present. Traditional meetings, polite conversation. After the 4th meeting, Khalid sent a formal proposal. The gifts arrived next: Cartier love bracelet, a white Range Rover Sport, Hermes Birkin bag. Salma's parents were thrilled. Financial security, elevated status, their daughter marrying into an established Dubai family. Salma felt trapped, but said yes anyway. What would you do if your family pressured you into a marriage for status? Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. If you made it to this point, drop a comment with "I'm still here." Let's see who is still watching. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, and share it with your loved ones to protect them from the same tragedy happening to them in the future. After Omar, Salma's mother intensified the pressure. Every dinner conversation circled back to marriage. "You're 22 now. Girls your age are already married with children. Omar has no future. He's renting a studio in Abu Dhabi. What can he offer you?" Rania painted vivid pictures of what life with Khalid would look like: a villa with a driver, shopping without checking price tags, respect in the community. "He's established, Salma. You'll never struggle. Isn't that what matters?" Salma's head said yes, but her heart screamed no. She lay awake at night, torn between duty and desire. The guilt was suffocating. Disappointing her parents after everything they'd sacrificed felt impossible. When Khalid's proposal arrived in January 2019, Salma accepted. She told herself she'd learned to love him. She deleted Omar's number, blocked him on social media, cut off all contact. Clean break, fresh start. The engagement period was set for 6 months, with the wedding planned for March. Khalid insisted on a quick timeline. "Why wait?" he said. "We're not children." Salma posted photos of her engagement ring, a massive diamond that caught light from every angle. Comments flooded in: "Mashallah. So lucky. Dream couple." Nobody saw the doubt behind her smile. Within weeks, Khalid's behavior shifted. During their first unchaperoned coffee date at Armani Cafe in Dubai Mall, he asked to see her phone. "Just want to look at our photos together," he said casually. She handed it over. He scrolled through her messages, her Instagram DMs, her WhatsApp chats. "Who's this?" he'd ask about male colleagues. "Why is he commenting on your posts?" Salma laughed it off at first, calling him protective, but it got worse. He questioned why she went to ladies' nights at Zero Gravity. He asked for her location when she worked late. He wanted to know every detail of her day. Her best friend Hiba noticed the change over brunch at La Petite Maison. "You seem different. Are you okay?" Salma lowered her voice. "Sometimes I feel like I'm in a cage, but maybe all marriages are like this." On Instagram they looked perfect. Photos at Bulgari Resort, sunset dinners at Pirchik, weekend trips to Abu Dhabi. Every post curated, every caption romantic. Her followers envied her. Close friends saw something else. The way her laughter sounded hollow, how she checked her phone nervously, how she'd stopped being herself. But Salma made one decision that would seal her fate. March 16th, 2019. The Burj Al Arab Terrace transformed into a vision of gold and white. 400 guests arrived in Ferraris and Bentleys, stepping onto red carpets as cameras flashed. The guest list read like a who's who of Dubai society: businessmen, socialites, government officials, and influencers. Salma arrived by helicopter, circling the iconic sail-shaped hotel before landing on the helipad. Her custom Elisab gown cost AED 150,000. Hand-embroidered crystals cascading down silk fabric that caught every beam of light. Her hair was styled in loose waves, makeup flawless, henna intricate on her hands. Live oud players performed as guests sipped champagne and feasted on gold-dusted desserts. The cake stood 7 tiers high. Fireworks exploded over the Arabian Gulf at midnight, spelling out KS in the sky. Salma's Instagram stories captured every moment: dancing with Tariq, posing with bridesmaids, cutting the cake with Khalid's hand over hers. The hashtag Khalid and Salma Forever trended across UAE social media. Guests would later tell reporters it was the wedding of the year. "Everything was perfect," one attendee said. "You could feel the love." Except you couldn't. Not really. Photographers captured Salma's smile in hundreds of shots, but those who knew her saw the strain. Her eyes looked distant during the vows. Her laughter sounded rehearsed. When she hugged her mother after the ceremony, tears streamed down her face. Everyone assumed they were tears of joy. Rania beamed with pride, already imagining grandchildren and villa visits. Her daughter had married well. The struggle was over. Meanwhile, Khalid kept his hand on Salma's waist the entire evening, not affectionate, but territorial. He steered her away from male guests. He interrupted conversations to redirect her attention. He corrected her posture during photos. During his toast, Khalid raised his glass. "Finally, a wife who will uphold our family honor. A woman who understands respect and tradition. To my beautiful bride, may you always remember the privilege of being an Al-Fahad." The guests cheered. Salma's smile froze. Have you ever smiled through pain to keep up appearances? Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. If you made it to this point, drop a comment with "I'm still here." Let's see who is still watching. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, and share it with your loved ones to protect them from the same tragedy happening to them in the future. Within 24 hours, that smile would vanish forever. The driver pulled through the gates of Khalid's 6-bedroom villa on Palm Jumeirah's Frond G at 1:30 a.m. The property sat directly on private beach, worth over AED 25 million, marble floors, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Gulf, infinity pool glowing blue in the darkness. Khalid had dismissed all staff for the night. "We need privacy," he'd told them earlier. Inside, rose petals created a path from the entrance to the master bedroom. Dom Perignon sat chilling in an ice bucket. Candles flickered on every surface. It looked romantic, carefully staged. Salma kicked off her heels the moment she walked in, her feet aching from hours in designer shoes. She was exhausted, physically from the long day, emotionally from pretending everything was fine. Her face hurt from smiling. Her cheeks were sore from accepting congratulations she didn't feel. She wanted nothing more than to sleep, to escape into unconsciousness and delay whatever came next. But Khalid had other plans. Around 11 p.m., as Salma removed her jewelry in the bedroom, Khalid appeared in the doorway holding 2 glasses of champagne. "Let's look at the wedding photos together," he said, his tone light. "Give me your phone. I want to share them to my WhatsApp." Salma hesitated for a fraction of a second, too brief for most people to notice, but Khalid caught it. She handed over her iPhone. Unlocked. He sat on the edge of the bed, scrolling through her camera roll. Then his thumb moved to WhatsApp. His expression changed instantly. There, at the top of her chat list, Omar Callas. Last message received today at 7:43 p.m., right before the ceremony. Khalid opened the thread. His jaw tightened as he read. The messages weren't explicit, nothing physical, nothing romantic in the traditional sense, but they were intimate in a way that cut deeper. Omar, March 10th. "I hope you're happy. That's all I ever wanted for you." Salma, March 11th. "Thank you. You'll always have a special place in my heart." Omar, March 16th, 7:43 p.m. "Saw your wedding photos. You looked beautiful. I mean it." Khalid's hands trembled. His face flushed red. The champagne glasses slipped from his grip, shattering on marble floor. "What is this?" His voice came out low, dangerous. Salma's stomach dropped. She'd forgotten to delete the thread. One careless mistake. One moment of sentimentality she hadn't let go of. "Khalid, it's nothing." "Nothing?" He stood, throwing her phone across the room. It cracked against the wall. "You made me a fool." Khalid's voice boomed through the villa. "On our wedding night, you're messaging another man. You brought shame to my family." Salma tried to explain, her words tumbling out rapidly. "It's just closure. He was congratulating me. There's nothing between us anymore, I swear." But Khalid wasn't listening. In his mind, betrayal was absolute. It didn't matter that the messages were innocent. It didn't matter that nothing physical had happened. His wife, had carried feelings for another man across the threshold of their marriage. "I gave you everything, my name, my home, my honor." He paced the room like a caged animal. "And you disgrace me like this? Please, you're not understanding." Salma backed toward the door. He blocked her path. "You're not leaving. We're going to discuss what kind of woman I married." The argument escalated. His voice echoed off the high ceilings, carrying across the private beach. Neighbors in the adjacent villa would later tell police they heard shouting around 2 a.m., a man's voice, angry and accusatory, and a woman's voice pleading. Can you imagine being trapped with someone who won't hear your truth? Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. If you made it to this point, drop a comment with "I'm still here." Let's see who is still watching. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, and share it with your loved ones to protect them from the same tragedy happening to them in the future. What happened next would shock even the most experienced investigators. The argument reached a breaking point around 2:30 a.m. Khalid snatched Salma's phone from where it had fallen and smashed it repeatedly against the marble floor until the screen shattered into pieces. Glass scattered across the bedroom. "You're not going anywhere," he said, when Salma moved toward the door. He blocked her exit, his body filling the doorway. At 55, he was still physically imposing, broad-shouldered, over 6 feet tall. Salma, at 5'4", looked tiny in comparison. "Please, just let me explain." Her voice cracked. "Explain what? That you've been lying to me, that I married a woman with no honor." His face twisted with rage. "No one disrespects the Al-Fahad name. No one." What happened in the next moments would be reconstructed later by forensic specialists. Khalid struck her, once, then again. His fist connected with her temple. Salma stumbled backward, trying to shield herself with her arms. Defensive wounds would later be found on her forearms and palms, where she tried to protect her face. She fell against the marble nightstand. Her head hit the corner with a sickening crack. Blunt force trauma to the temporal region. The medical examiner would later determine that the impact caused a subdural hematoma, bleeding between the brain and skull. Salma collapsed onto the bedroom floor. Her breathing became shallow, irregular. Blood pooled beneath her head, staining the white rose petals scattered across the marble. Khalid stood over her, chest heaving, fists still clenched. The rage drained from his face, replaced by something else: fear. By 3 a.m. on March 17, 2019, less than 24 hours after they'd exchanged vows, Salma Baghdadi was dead. The villa fell silent, except for the sound of waves crashing against the private beach outside. Panic set in as reality crashed over Khalid. He'd killed his bride on their wedding night. The scandal would destroy everything: his business, his reputation, his family name. He spent the next 4 hours planning. First, he dragged Salma's body into the walk-in closet, away from the blood. He cleaned the marble floor with towels, scrubbing frantically, but blood had seeped into the grout lines, impossible to remove completely. He pulled a Persian carpet from the guest room, an antique piece worth thousands, and rolled Salma's body inside it, tight, secure, hidden. At 7 a.m., he called his driver, Abdul. "I need you to dispose of a carpet. Take it to the desert near Al Ain Road. Don't ask questions." Then Khalid packed a suitcase with some of Salma's clothes, her makeup bag, her laptop. He rehearsed the story in the mirror. "We had a fight. She said she was leaving. Going back to her ex-boyfriend. I tried to stop her, but she was determined." He even drafted a text message to send from her phone, except her phone was destroyed. But one person wasn't buying his story. Rania started calling Salma's phone at 10 a.m. on March 17th, straight to voicemail. She tried 15 times over the next 2 hours. Nothing. By noon, worry turned to alarm. Salma always answered her mother's calls, especially the day after her wedding. Something felt wrong. Rania drove to the Palm Jumeirah villa with her husband Faisal and son Tariq. Khalid answered the door, his eyes bloodshot, his clothes wrinkled. "Where's Salma?" Rania demanded. Khalid's rehearsed story came out stilted. "We had a fight last night. She got upset and left around 5 a.m., said she needed space. She probably went to a hotel." Rania's maternal instinct screamed. "Salma would never leave without telling me. Never. Where is my daughter?" "I'm telling you, she left." Khalid's voice rose defensively. Tariq noticed something else: fresh scratch marks on Khalid's forearm, partially hidden by his sleeve. "What happened to your arm?" "The cat scratched me." Khalid didn't own a cat. By 2:00 p.m., Rania and Faisal were at Bur Dubai police station filing a missing person report. Given the circumstances, a bride vanishing within 36 hours of her wedding, Dubai police prioritized the case immediately. Detective Hamdan Al-Kabi was assigned to lead the investigation. Rania remembered Khalid's driver from the wedding. She tracked down Abdul's number through the wedding planner and called him directly. "Did you see Salma this morning?" she asked, her voice desperate. Abdul hesitated. "No, ma'am. But Mr. Khalid called me at 7 a.m., asked me to take a rolled carpet to the desert. Said he wanted it disposed of near the Al Ain Road." The request had struck Abdul as odd. Why would someone dispose of an expensive Persian carpet in the desert, and why so urgently at 7 a.m. the morning after a wedding? Abdul contacted Dubai police immediately after Rania's call. Within an hour, Detective Al-Kabi was interviewing him at the station. Mr. Khalid seemed nervous, Abdul testified. Kept checking his watch. His hands were shaking. He made me promise not to tell anyone, said it was private family business. Abdul led investigators directly to the disposal site. While a team recovered Salma's body from the desert location, forensic specialists descended on the Palm Jumeirah villa with luminol and UV lights. The master bedroom told a story Khalid couldn't erase. Blood spatter patterns on the marble floor matched a violent impact. DNA testing confirmed it was Salma's blood. Khalid's amateur cleaning job had missed critical evidence. Blood in the grout lines, microscopic traces on the nightstand corner, droplets on the wall. Security footage from the villa's entrance cameras showed no one leaving between midnight and 8 a.m. Khalid's story of Salma departing at 5 a.m. was a lie. Most damning, Khalid's internet search history from 4:13 a.m. showed Google queries for how to clean blood from marble and removing bloodstains permanently. Do you think criminals ever truly get away with it in Dubai's surveillance society? 72 hours after the wedding, on March 19th at 6:30 p.m., Khalid Al-Fahad walked through Dubai International Airport Terminal 3 carrying a single leather duffel bag. He'd booked a one-way Emirates flight to Geneva, Switzerland, departure at 8:45 p.m. Switzerland had no extradition treaty with the UAE for certain crimes. He'd researched this carefully. Once there, he planned to disappear into the banking district, liquidate offshore accounts and vanish. But Detective Al-Kabi had anticipated this move. Dubai police had flagged Khalid's passport the moment they found Salma's body. As Khalid approached Gate B7, 4 plainclothes officers surrounded him. Khalid Al-Fahad, you're under arrest for the murder of Salma Baghdadi. His face went pale. The boarding pass slipped from his hand. Airport security cameras captured everything, his stunned expression, the handcuffs clicking around his wrists, passengers stopping to stare as officers led him away. His escape plan had failed. In the interrogation room at Dubai Police Headquarters, Khalid maintained his innocence for the first 3 hours. She left me, I told you already. Check the hotels. She's probably at Jumeirah Beach Hotel with her ex-boyfriend. Detective Al-Kabi slid crime scene photos across the table. Blood patterns, the Persian carpet, Salma's body. We found her, Khalid, in the desert, right where your driver said you told him to leave the carpet. Khalid's lawyer whispered urgently in his ear. The story changed. It was an accident. We argued. She fell. I panicked. Al-Kabi leaned forward. Your Google searches at 4 a.m. say otherwise. You didn't call an ambulance. You didn't try to help her. You planned a cover-up. Finally, emotion cracked through. She provoked me. She disrespected me. I didn't mean to kill her, but she wouldn't stop. The prosecutors heard enough. This wasn't an accident. This was rage-fueled murder with attempted concealment, premeditation. The trial began in May 2019 at Dubai Criminal Court. Media coverage was intense but respectful. Salma's family requested privacy during proceedings. For 4 months, prosecutors presented evidence, forensic reports, Abdul's testimony, internet searches, security footage, the WhatsApp messages that triggered Khalid's rage. In August 2019, the verdict came, guilty of premeditated murder, life imprisonment. Several luxury hotels quietly terminated contracts with Al-Fahad Textile Trading. The family name, once respected, now carried shame. The judge's final words echoed through the courtroom. Honor is not preserved through violence. You took a young woman's life over jealousy and pride. Justice demands accountability. Salma's body was flown back to Jordan 3 weeks after her death. She was laid to rest at Sahab Cemetery in Amman, surrounded by extended family who'd watched her grow from a curious child into an ambitious young woman. Rania collapsed at the graveside, unable to comprehend that the daughter she'd pushed toward security now rested beneath Jordanian soil. The guilt consumed her, every conversation about Khalid's wealth, every dismissal of Omar, every assurance that marriage would bring happiness. Faisal aged overnight, his face hollow with regret. Rania kept Salma's Instagram active as a memorial, refusing to delete the final wedding photos. She read every comment, every message of sympathy. hoping somehow her daughter could feel the love. Tariq transformed his grief into purpose, speaking at university panels about the dangers of forced marriages and family pressure that prioritizes status over happiness. The news rippled through Dubai's expatriate community like a shockwave no one wanted to acknowledge publicly. At city walk cafes and along JBR beach walks, women spoke in hushed tones about Salma's fate. Young Arab professionals saw themselves in her story. The balancing act between tradition and independence, the weight of family expectations, the pressure to marry well, regardless of compatibility. "It could have been any of us," one Lebanese woman told her friend over coffee at Tom Serge in Al Quoz. The Instagram-perfect narrative had shattered, revealing the darkness that could lurk behind curated posts and designer lifestyles. Mothers began questioning their own advice to daughters. Fathers reconsidered what good match truly meant. The conversation Dubai's community had avoided for years suddenly felt urgent and necessary. Salma's death sparked difficult conversations across Middle Eastern expatriate communities. Age-gap marriages faced renewed scrutiny, not blanket condemnation, but thoughtful examination of power dynamics and compatibility beyond financial security. Family group chats exploded with debates about arranged marriages versus forced marriages, where the line existed, and how to honor tradition without sacrificing autonomy. The hashtag #Salma story spread across Arabic social media, with young women sharing their own experiences of family pressure and marriages that prioritized appearance over substance. Some families began approaching marriage discussions differently, asking daughters about their feelings instead of just presenting suitable candidates. Wedding planners noticed shifts, brides requesting longer engagement periods, couples insisting on genuine courtship time, families allowing relationships to develop naturally before formal commitments. Has this story changed how you view picture-perfect social media lives? Where are you watching from? Drop your location in the comments below. If you made it to this point, drop a comment with "I'm still here." Let's see who is still watching. If you're enjoying this content, like, subscribe, and share it with your loved ones to protect them from the same tragedy happening to them in the future. Dubai's skyline glitters with promise, opportunity, luxury, dreams realized. But Salma's story reminds us that darkness can exist anywhere, even behind marble floors and designer gowns. Her tragedy wasn't about location. It was about ignoring red flags that screamed danger. Khalid's possessiveness during engagement, his interrogations about her phone, his need to control every aspect of her life, these weren't signs of protection or care. They were warnings. Salma's instincts told her something was wrong, but family pressure and guilt drowned out that inner voice. Her story teaches a painful lesson. No mansion, no bank account, no social status justifies giving someone complete control over your autonomy. Wealth cannot buy safety when it comes wrapped in jealousy and rage. Trust your gut. Question arrangements that feel wrong. Your life matters infinitely more than anyone's expectations or reputation. Salma's Instagram account remains active, a digital memorial frozen at March 16, 2019. Her last post, the wedding photo with Khalid's hand on her waist, continues accumulating comments. "Rest in peace, beautiful soul. You deserved so much better. Forever in our hearts." Over 400 messages from strangers who never met her, but felt connected to her struggle. She's forever 23 in everyone's memory, suspended between the life she dreamed of and the future stolen from her. Her story circulates as both warning and catalyst for change. If you or someone you know is in a controlling relationship, speak up. Drop your location in the comments and let's start a conversation about relationship red flags in our communities. What would you have done differently if you were Salma's friend? Before you go, if you want to learn how to protect yourself from potential danger, then don't forget to download your free ebook titled "Safety for Women Over 40: Everyday Habits to Outsmart Criminals" by clicking the link in the pinned comment.